True peace, Kens. NASA is about to fly a helicopter on another planet for the first time. Peep the slang, yo. The first drone on another world is ready to fly. The Ingenuity helicopter is primed to lift off from the surface of Mars on 12th of April, which will be the first powered flight on another planet. NASA Perseverance rover, which launched in July 2020 and arrived on Mars on 18th of February, carried the Ingenuity helicopter folded up in its belly. After the rover landed, it dropped Ingenuity onto the ground and drove off so the drone could ready itself for its first flight. It has survived launch. It has survived the journey through space, the vacuum and radiation. It has survived the entry and descent and landing onto the surface on the bottom of the Perseverance rover, said Bob Ballard and NASA Jet Propulsion Laboratory, JPL, Ingenuity's chief engineer, during a 23rd March press conference. Everything we could possibly do on Earth has been done, and now it's time for us to take the same vehicle to Mars and subject it to the ultimate test. Peter Slang, yo, check out the video.
NASA's latest rover is on its way to Mars. Its mission to look for signs of ancient life.
Ancient life.
Perseverance of humanity is launching the next generation of robotic explorers to the red planet. Perseverance will push forward the boundaries of a decades-long investigation into whether Mars has ever hosted life in its 4.5 billion year history. On board is a suite of scientific instruments designed to look for signs of ancient life. It will also start to investigate how humans might live there, and for the first time ever, we'll see if we can fly a helicopter on another world. Its predecessors investigated whether Mars ever had habitable conditions, particularly looking for evidence of liquid water. Together with observations from Mars orbiters, they gathered evidence that Mars once had large oceans, rivers, and lakes. They even found hints that water still flows on Mars today, although some features that were originally interpreted as streaks of flowing water might actually be just sand. We now know that Mars has the ingredients for life, and it may have been much warmer in the past. Perseverance will be the first rover to explicitly look for signs of life itself. The chances of finding current life on Mars are pretty slim, but in the distant past, it's not so far-fetched, and finding it would be a huge deal. Right now, Earth is the only place we know of where life has ever existed. If we were to find out that life existed on our nearest neighbour, it would tell us that our home is not unique, and maybe life elsewhere in the universe is actually quite common. Perseverance will reach Mars in February 2021. The launch was timed so that the positions of Earth and Mars would make the journey as quick as possible, giving a flight time of about 7 months. The landing site is Jezero Crater, which is believed to be the best candidate for finding life on Mars. Water and sediments collected in this former lake bed, and it's here that scientists hope to find ancient organic molecules and signs of microbial life. To do that, the rover is carrying a set of high-tech gadgets that would put even James Bond's Aston Martin to shame. There's a nuclear generator, a computer, an identical backup computer, 6-wheel drive, a triple-jointed robotic arm, a drill, a weather station, and microphone, so we'll get to hear Mars for the first time. One key bit of kit to look for signs of life is called Sherlock. That's a contrived acronym with lots of jargony words, but what it does is shine a laser at the rocks and measures the spectrum they reflect to determine their chemical composition. It even has a sidekick, a camera called Watson. But Perseverance isn't just taking pictures. The rover will collect bits of Martian rock in tubes to be collected by a future mission. Hopefully, we could have those tubes back on Earth to study in 2031, which would get scientists really excited. To keep up to date with everything that's going on in space exploration, subscribe to New Scientist. We've got a 20% discount for our YouTube viewers. Just enter the code SAM20 and click the link below. And if you want to have a closer look at the amazing astrophotography pictures you can see behind me, do a search for the Astronomy Photographer of the Year here at the National Maritime Museum in London. On top of the hunt for life, Perseverance is going to attempt something extraordinary. Mars is about to get its first helicopter. Ingenuity is a Wright brothers moment on another planet, according to the lead engineer Mimi Ong. If all goes to plan, just 118 years after the Wright Flyer took off in North Carolina, a 1.8 kilogram helicopter will take off on Mars. To complete its mission, all it has to do is get off the ground. Later missions could include bigger helicopters or maybe even planes that can fly further around the planet. Because Mars's atmosphere is so thin, that mission isn't so easy. Its super-light carbon fiber blades will have to spin at 2,400 revolutions per minute. That's 7 times faster than a typical helicopter on Earth. 2,400, 2,600. Another exciting experiment for Perseverance will see if it's possible to produce small amounts of oxygen on Mars. That's going to be absolutely crucial when we eventually send humans there, because they'll not only need oxygen to breathe, but they'll need it to burn fuel and get a rocket back to Earth. Mars has only trace amounts of free oxygen in its atmosphere, but it has quite a bit of oxygen bonded to carbon atoms in the form of carbon dioxide. This experiment, called MOXIE, will test the technology for making oxygen from carbon dioxide on Mars. MOXIE takes in small amounts of carbon dioxide from the Martian air, pressurizes it, and heats it to 800 degrees. A combination of heat and electricity rip oxygen atoms away from the carbon dioxide, leaving you with carbon monoxide and oxygen. MOXIE is expected to produce 10 grams of oxygen an hour. That's barely enough to breathe for 15 minutes. But MOXIE is just a test. MOXIE is about the size of a car battery. For a human mission to Mars, we would need something about 100 times bigger. And if we were going to send a rocket home, we would need 30 to 45 metric tons of oxygen, more if we're ever going to settle there. Mars isn't exactly the most hospitable place to settle down, but some people, including SpaceX boss Elon Musk, are really keen on the idea.
Do you want the future where we become a spacefaring civilization and are in many worlds and are out there among the stars, or one where we are forever confined to Earth? And I say it is the first.
Perseverance will take some of the first steps to see if that's possible. So we're going to learn a lot from this mission. We're going to see if it's possible to fly a helicopter on another planet. We'll prepare for future human exploration. And just maybe, we'll find signs of ancient life on another planet. How would you like to take a trip to Mars? Let us know in the comments, and don't forget to like and subscribe for more Science with Sam.
Keep the slang, yo. Ingenuity stands about half a meter tall and weighs just 1.8 kilograms. It has 2 rotors that lift the aircraft by spinning in opposite direction 40 times a second, about 5 times faster than regular helicopter rotors on Earth. That speed is partially because of its small size, but partially because it is far harder to fly in the thin Martian atmosphere, which is about 100 times thinner than Earth's. The drone is a technology demonstration meant to supply proof that we can make a helicopter fly on Mars, so it doesn't carry any scientific instruments. Keep the slang, yo.